Hey there, welcome back on this episode of Wall Street, the New Hustle. We're going to pick up where from our first video on a lot of the pitfalls of stuff in investing and a lot of the scams out there on this week's episode of Wall Street, the New Hustle. Well, welcome back. One of the things, like I said, this will be our second episode that I didn't pick up on was you see a lot of the YouTubers, and they'll have like a bunch of money like this, and you look like it's thousands of dollars, and you're like, okay, well, this person must be making a lot of money doing this. But the thing is, like I said, you are the hustle. So, like I said, the more subscribers they get, the more they monetize their channel. Of course, the more viewers they get, now they're making money off of you. They're not really giving you anything real to invest in or real to, kind of teach you about Wall Street. It's just a way for them to entertain you, basically. Somebody that read a book, like I said, Rich Dad, Poor Dad is a great book, but some people read that and think they're Wall Street experts, and they only been doing it for a week just to create a new content for their channel. Like for me, I've been doing it since 1998 actively. I've been in love with Wall Street since 1987. So when I was 12 years old at the time, and I didn't know what was going on. I figured somebody's making some money somewhere. And mind you, 87, there were no internet. They were cell phones, but they were for super rich people that had cell phones. But the basic person that lived in the inner city didn't have no cell phones, and we had limited to a lot of information unless you went to the library. That was how we learned things back then. So we really had no access about Wall Street. One of my favorite movies was Eddie Murphy and Trading Places. Still my favorite movie. Actually, I still watch that to this day, and I've seen it like 100 times, and I still watch it. So that was kind of our introduction to Wall Street. And that was 84, I believe, when that movie came out. I was like 9 years old, so I do remember when it first came out. And I didn't fall in love till 87, so I kind of didn't know what was going on, but I knew somebody was making some money somewhere. So I graduated school. I said grow up in the city and went off to the Marine Corps. And this is like 97, I got in the Marine Corps. And there still was limited information even in 1997. And then 98, I got my first computer. I went to Merrill Lynch in Baltimore City. And I told the guy, I said, well, how many shares of something do I need to buy in order to see some money grow? And he said, at least 25 shares. I said, okay, 25 shares. I said, what should I buy? So he asked me, what do you know? I said, I know Nike, IBM, Microsoft, like that. So I said, well, okay, why don't I just buy Microsoft? I didn't know what it was at the time. So at that point when I bought it, it was $84 a share, I believe. So I was able to save my money, and I bought 25 shares of that. And he told me, okay, go around the corner, pay the disperser. So what he did was he was doing something on the computer, which I couldn't see because it was turned towards him. So it took maybe about 10 minutes maybe. And he said, okay, take your check to the disperser office. So I said, well, how much it was? He said, just go to the disperser office because it included his fee. So I went there. They told me how much his fee. Well, technically they already tell me what his fee was. They included it into the price because I didn't know anything about that at the time. So I can't remember how much the money I paid at the time, but I wrote them a check. And then 2 days later, the check cleared, and then I had my account open and running, and I could see the 25 shares. But at the time, that person controlled the account. So if I wanted something done, I would have to call him to do it. If I wanted to sell something, I had to call him. So periodically, he would call me and say, well, I think that the market is moving in such a direction, some story he would give me, and you should do. I said, okay, fine, sure. Not knowing I was paying him. I didn't know every time I told him to do something, I was paying him. I was naive. So then later on in 98, I started to kind of do more research, stuff like that. Like I said, I just got Marine Corps, and I was working for the Department of Labor at the time. So this coming from respect for my real job. I said, I could do this myself. So when I realized how to trade, I believe it was, it wasn't Ameritrade. It was, I think it was Scottrade. Scottrade was what I had. I had to open up an account with them with money I had left over. And I said, I can do this myself. So he had the person from Merrill Lynch called me and asked me, dude, I said, how do I close my account? He said, "You sure?" I said, "Yeah, I'm sure." So I said, "I want all my money back. I'm gonna close my account." So I closed it. Of course, I had to pay him another fee on top of that. So I saw all my shares at currently what it was, and then I had to pay him a transaction fee. So we closed the account. So then I end up moving that money into my own account. So I've been doing it by myself since '98, and I was doing very, very well doing it by myself. Sometimes I had some rough patches because I got greedy over time, but we'll say it in other episodes. But so like what I said here, you'll see here's $100. So it's a real $100. So you'll see like these YouTubers with their thumbnails like this, money like this, or some people in the channel talk like this, but they have all this money. But basically, this is $100. I think I have actually really $1,000 here, but here's a $100 bill. So what they'll do is they take a $100 bill here. Here's my second 100, and let's see here. Matter of fact, let's do it this way. No, I want to mess that up, so we'll do it this way. I have $100 worth of $1 bills here, right? So they'll take $100 worth of ones, take the band off of it, because most of the banks, they'll have these bands here, what every bank will give you, and they'll have $100 on it, the 100 ones. So they'll take it, put the 100 on the bottom, 100 on the top, make it nice and neat, and they'll take a wrapper, because when you go to the bank, they'll give you whatever you're asking for. So if you say you want a $10,000 money band, they'll give you one, but this is 100. They'll take it, wet it, and seal it around like this. You can see it. So now this band will say $10,000 or $100,000, whatever they want, and you'll believe that's what that is. And like I said, they'll put it up like this. Oh Jesus, this person's making all this money. Well, it's $300. You see here, all I got is $300. But I'm not gonna do this, because if I did this, you'll actually know that it's $300. So I'll keep at face value like this for the thumbnails or for the video. And most people don't have real jobs, and you are their job. Because like I said, this is a hustle. They want you to monetize their channel. So the more viewers that they get, the more money YouTube or whatever pays them to live off of, I guess, whatever. But like I said, I wanted to do something that come from a perspective of somebody that actually have a real job and has to get up every morning and drive and commute. Unfortunately, fortunately for me, being working for the fire department, we don't do that. We work 24 hours on and 72 hours off. So we do have options to work a lot of overtime in between those shifts that you're off. But like I said, we still, like everybody else, gotta get up, go to work. If you have a family, you gotta feed them, you gotta pay those bills. And in the middle of the pandemic, a lot of people losing their jobs. So like I said, what's the common denominator? People need money. So now you start seeing all these people create these channels, and they don't know nothing about Wall Street whatsoever. They just read a book. Like I said, Rich Dad Poor Dad is one of them. They'll read a book, and that's a great book, but they'll read some books, and then they'll create content for their YouTube channel and claim that they're experts. And one thing I start to see a lot of is they'll have something that say, well, I created a proven program that generates X amount of dollars every day, every month, and I've been doing it for 100 years, and it works for me, and it can work for you. And I'm like, well, if it's working for you, why are you telling me? And being on the street in the city, growing up there, if I got something on you, why I'm telling you for? Why not just keep it to myself? Whatever. I'm making all this money. Why not keep it to myself? Whatever. Why I need to share it for you? Because that's the hustle. If I give you something that you think that's worth you, you're gonna watch my channel. You're gonna subscribe. You're gonna watch like 8,000 times, whatever, and it's gonna get monetized, and then I'm gonna make money off of you. So that's why people create this stuff, whatever. So and I believe if you had all the success making this money, do you actually have time to make YouTube videos? No, you're busy trading, making money. You don't have time for this. And if you had this money, why would you do this anymore? You'll be on a boat somewhere, a yacht, driving all your 20,000 cars, whatever, and stuff. But I guess because out of the goodness of your heart, you want to share your secrets with me, and of course always has a fee included. So so that's why I create this thing, because I haven't seen one person make a channel from the perspective of somebody that actually has a real job, that has to get up and go to work every single day. Like I said, with this was only $300, but with the bands on it, it could look like whatever I wanted it to look like. It looked like $10,000. It could look like $1 million, and you could believe it, but I guarantee you most of the time they won't do this and break it down individually and show you what it really is. But like I said, that's on this week's episode of Wall Street The New Hustle. So I want you guys to be safe, wear your mask, and our next episode, we're just going to dig in this. So I want you to learn something. I don't know everything. I don't know all the ins and outs. Keep your job and use Wall Street what it's intended to use, as a supplement, not an end all to be all. And you guys be safe out there on this week of Wall Street The New Hustle. Thank you.